Number 3, be like Sherlock. Okay, now I think my headings might be getting increasingly cryptic as we go through this. But what I'm talking about here is eDiscovery. So I need to find out information relating to a particular thing. Now, eDiscovery often goes in the context of the legal environment. So I need to find out everything relating to a particular case. And this idea of discovery would be incredibly time consuming, very labor intensive, very sort of hands-on, personal labor intensive. So if I could come up with a solution for this, that might be quite helpful. Now, my goal, remember, is to come up with implementations that are fast. So this is what I'm thinking. And this is pretty fast. Again, I'm going to have to assume that I've got the data already. Where have I got the data? I had OneDrive in the previous example. I could have OneDrive in this example. But just for the sake of using another product, let's say SharePoint. And within SharePoint, I've got emails. I've got PDF documents, Word documents, Excel files. I've got a variety of different file formats just sitting in there, relatively inanimate. But everything is documented. Everything has a set of properties, who the author was, what the date was, what it was relating to. And of course, there's structure in there as well of actual content. Central to this is Copilot. Absolutely central to this is Copilot. And what I can then do with Copilot is use that as my knowledge base, similar to the first example. One addition to this, however, is to use a component called Graph. Graph might not be familiar to you, but by using Graph, and think of that as understanding identity and authorization and permissions. By using Graph in conjunction with Copilot, as I put on the slide, Copilot automatically grounds answers in SharePoint and OneDrive using Microsoft Graph, respecting user permission. So you need permission, obviously, to query the document. We can't just query the document we don't have permission to. But this is actually a really simple solution. Aside from Graph, which it's not something that you'd be setting up, it'd be running. We'd just be connecting to it from Copilot. Aside from that, this is largely all done through Copilot. Again, I would think of Teams as a good way to expose that. It could be SharePoint that's used, or some other more bespoke tool. Now, with the goal of coming up with a solution fast, this could tick the box. I'd have to submit, though, that in real life, in a real sort of legal environment, you'd need a lot more than this. So this is a fast solution, could be useful just to prove a concept. What you'd really want to be using, and this is where time would be taken up, would be Purview. You'd want to be using Microsoft Purview. Microsoft Purview is a fantastic tool, beyond the scope of what I'm talking about here. But that would more likely be used for this. So if you're actually thinking of it, yeah, you probably want to use Purview. This actually wouldn't be appropriate in a legal environment because of the lack of, I suppose it's the preserving evidence, that the audit trail of documents would be more suited to a Purview environment. Anyway, that's my option number 3. Be like Sherlock, be able to investigate, be able to pull out relevant information for legal cases in this situation.